A very good and happy Tuesday morning to everyone out there. Landon here back in the saddle again to bring you your latest weather night forecast courtesy of On Target. Got high pressure that settled just south of the region early this morning. We do have a low pressure system that is developing across the Great Plains. We're going to be looking at counterclockwise flow around this area of low pressure, clockwise flow around this area of high pressure. Going to be producing these light winds out of the south and west today. It is going to result in warmer conditions here across the region. You will note some of the cloud debris that we have lingering in here out of the west. Those are going to be upper level clouds for the most part. That's going to be filtering the sunshine here as we work throughout the day. That's being picked up nicely on our Skycam network, WRUS Skycam down in Russellville, getting us kicked off. Beautiful view with some low-lying stratus and fog with some wispy high-level clouds out there, making for an absolutely immaculate sunrise. Same can be said overlooking the D93 Skycam in downtown Bowling Green. We got the silhouette of the water tower with that big ball of fire coming up over the horizon right here, right around twilight. Let's jump over here and we'll give you the latest in terms of what we are experiencing on the temperature front. We have got readings that are chilly early this morning, located down right around the mid and upper 30s region wide. We get the lone cold spot up here in the flats of Woodbury, Butler County at 34.4. North side of Warren County, the coldest, however, currently sitting at 34.1 degrees. We'll be bumping highs up to right around the low to mid 60s as we work into this afternoon. We got some changes that's going to be arriving here later in the work week, folks, and we're going to give you the full breakdown of exactly what's going to be unfolding. First and foremost, we're going to take a gander at the big picture view. We're going to have a couple of cold fronts that's going to slice through here throughout the remainder of this week. It's going to result in some minor temperature fluctuations throughout the work week, but folks, as we roll late into the weekend, into the early days of next week, we're going to be dealing with the coldest air so far this season as a parade of cold fronts work their way south and east through the region. Work throughout today, high pressure remains to our south and east, all is quiet. And then we get into our Wednesday and you see the first cold front that's going to be making its way through here. If you look right over here, we got this area of low pressure located over New York. And then we got this cold front that's going to be dry in nature that's going to extend to the south and west. High pressure is going to reinforce a northerly flow behind that passing cold front Wednesday afternoon on into Wednesday night. So again, we're going to see this little uptick in a zigzag pattern, if you will, on our temperatures throughout the remainder of the work week. We're going to be right around the low and mid 60s today, out ahead of the cold front that's going to take us up to around the lower 70s on Wednesday. We're going to be back down to the low and mid 60s on Thursday and back up to near 70 on Wednesday yet again. All right, so you can see here the cold front will slide through here on Thursday. Then we work into Thursday night. And then we work into our Friday, and all eyes is on this deepening low pressure system riding right along the Canadian border, right across the northern tier of the Great Lakes in the Midwest region. By the time we progress into midday on into lunchtime of our Friday, this is how our surface map is going to appear. This cold front is going to be extending all the way down right to around the northern part of Texas. Off of that developing low, we're going to have deep southerly flow that's going to try to be pumping in moisture and instability. And it looks like that it's going to be struggling to do so. Looks like instability in that storm fuel will remain on the low side. However, the wind speed and alteration with height, better known as wind shear, is going to be rather impressive with this setup. So it's a typical high shear, low keep environment that we typically see throughout the fall and winter seasons. That looks like what we're going to be dealing with. Gusty rain showers for the most part. With a lack of instability, we might not get even thunder or lightning out of this. But with a low-level wind shear, I'm going to have to keep eyes on the opportunity of maybe a tornado spin-up occurring as this cold front blasts through here right along and ahead of it with those lines of showers and perhaps even a few storms to be dealing with. So we're going to need to keep very close eyes on this as it does occur and as it does progress through the region. We're going to take a look at those wind speeds with those passing fronts throughout the week. Today's not going to be too bad. It's going to remain out of the south, but folks, look at tonight into our Wednesday whenever the initial cold front blast through here. We're going to have winds of the magnitude of 20 to 30 plus miles an hour at times that we're going to have to deal with. This will take us all the way through Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday evening whenever the cold front passes, and then we'll see that subside to an extent as we get into our Thursday time frame, and then those wind speeds will pick back up throughout our Friday as well, okay? So take a look. Here comes the initial round of showers and storms through here at some point between roughly mid-morning and mid-afternoon on Friday. Looks like the timing at this point in time. But then after that cold front passes, keep your eyes off to the north and west at this Canadian low that's going to be diving to the south and east. Folks, this is going to be bringing a major jolt of colder air to our vicinity. We're going to be working into our Saturday night, into our Sunday. Another opportunity at rain chances, maybe showers, maybe a stray rumble of thunder. But folks, look behind the cold front that passes as we work into our Sunday night on into our Monday. Look at this. We get the opportunity of some snowflakes that could be mixing in. It doesn't look like we're going to get anything in regards to accumulations. If anything was to fall, it should be very minor in nature. But this monster trough is going to be digging down behind that surface low and that passing front. It's going to be escorting in the coldest air of the season as a result, and high pressure here is just going to be reinforcing this northerly flow, rolling late into the weekend, into the early days of next week. And I want to show you what our temperatures are going to be doing as a result. First and foremost, throughout this week, we're going to be right around the mid-60 mark as we progress into this afternoon. We'll be near the 70-degree mark as we work into Wednesday afternoon. Thursday, we're back down to around the mid and upper the low and mid-60s. We get into our Thursday, we'll warm up again. Friday looks like to be the warmest day right along and ahead of that passing front. We're going to be up to around the 70-degree mark again Friday afternoon, and then look at the weekend to follow. High is going to be hanging out right around the mid-60s on Saturday. Sunday, folks, it's going to be lucky if we escape up into the low and mid-50s. And then look at whenever that major trough digs down behind the front. Take a look here, folks. We're looking at Monday afternoon, and we are looking at max temperatures maybe not getting out of the 30s, maybe creeping up into the lower 40s. So those are the two primary things that we're watching. Friday, cold front opportunity at strong or even potentially a few severe thunderstorms. And then late in the weekend into Monday of next week, we're looking at the opportunity of maybe a light wintry mix coming in or some snowflakes flying on the backside of that front. We will be watching that like a hawk for obvious reasons. Now, jumping over here and taking a look at the latest, first and foremost, we're going to talk about here in the shorter term, we are going to be dealing with the opportunity of strong and severe weather. Our latest machine learning capabilities and our analog guidance is pointing out the opportunity of severe weather across the deep south, stretching up into our vicinity, right here across the Wobbles community in the lower Ohio Valley. You can take a look there. Here's our analog guidance, and here's our machine learning capabilities. That's painting the southeast up into the Ohio Valley as well as markers to watch for potential severe weather. Again, not all that moisture coming along with it, but folks, anywhere from 1/4 of an inch up to an inch of rainfall will be possible. This will be in the Friday time frame as well as the weekend, with that next passing front and the drastically colder temperatures that will be following suit. Here's a full breakdown of your next 6-day weather forecast. The temperature pendulum swing today through Friday. Mid-60s today, lower 70s Wednesday, mid-60s Thursday, low to mid-70s on Friday. Opportunity of strong to maybe even severe storms in the Friday time frame with that vigorous cold front blasting through here. Temperatures hold right around the 60 to 65 degree mark throughout the weekend, but although you can't see it, come Monday of next week, there could be some of us out there not getting out of the 30s for highs. Friends, it's going to wrap up your Tuesday morning weather night forecast, brought to you by none other than On Target. You all take care of yourselves and each other. Have a fantastic